A new StatsCan report finds more than 80% of young people have been exposed to online hate and violence. CTV's Tony Grace is following the story, and he joins us live with the latest. Tony, what does today's new data tell us about how many young people are being exposed to this hate online?
Well, Lena, a really revealing snapshot at a generation that has really never grown up without the internet, without online content, let alone not only on desktops, but in the palms of their hands as well. So it found that, as you mentioned, more than 8 in 10 young people, and we're talking about Canadians between the ages of 15 and 24, reported that they had been exposed to online hate and violence. And that could range from terrorist content to violence toward ethnic groups to sexual violence. And the same fraction, by the way, Lena, more than 8 in 10 suspected seeing false information online. And that was just what was reported in 4 different surveys that Stats Canada took this data from. And by the way, that's only up until 2022 in most cases. So some of this data, Lena, doesn't even take into account last year, 2023. So again, a very revealing snapshot at a dangerous and dark but vast world of online activity.
Yeah, very concerning for sure, Tony. Tell us more about the actual cases of hate crimes that were reported to police, because the data shows a trend there as well.
It does, and this is over a 4-year period. So in 2018, and as you mentioned, it's important to note that these are only the cases that were reported to police and deemed to be hate crimes as relating to online activity. 2018, 92 such incidents reported to police. And then by 2022, that had more than doubled to 219 incidents. And again, that's only online activity that qualifies under legislation and under Canada's definitions as hate crime. But it could range from uttering threats to indecent communication, harassing communication, as well as nonviolent crimes, which they described as being things like public incitement of hatred. And interestingly enough, they also pointed out that when it comes to young people reporting how frequently they were exposed to hateful or harmful online content, more than 10% of that 15 to 24-year-old age group said they were seeing it every day. Almost 40% said at least once a week or several times a week, and those fractions were greater than the national averages. So, Lena, a lot of data here, but important data nonetheless, as disturbing as it is, not only for policymakers and lawmakers to consider, but of course for social advocates to take into account as well as they look at ways to protect this generation and future generations online.
Absolutely. It's really important to have these numbers, especially when it comes to policy change. Tony Grace, thanks so much for your reporting.
Thank you, Lena.